What is the best dating advice you've ever received? Most of the time mixed signals means no. Or, I don't know what I want and I am a mixed up person, in a mixed up part of my life, or a flake. All of the above indicate that it's often best to move on. You're both going to be nervous and you're both going to say stupid things on the first date. Humor those things and don't let them control the date. From shit my dad says. That woman was sexy, out of your league. Son. Let women figure out why they won't screw you, don't do it for them. From Bohack Horseman, when you look at someone through rose-colored glasses, all the red flags just look like flags. If she's always on her phone when you see her but takes hours to reply to your texts, she's not interested, bro. Have a type but use it as guideline and not a rule. If you put someone on a pedestal, you force them to look down on you. You can't control your partner. Your partner will do things you don't want them to, you just have to decide what's a deal breaker. Would you trust them to watch your pet? Always like this one. Nothing seems so bad after a good meal and a nap. This was spoken to me by my now deceased father. If I was struggling with anything he'd always say have something to eat and take a nap, then come back to it. And you know it always worked for me in some capacity. While you absolutely don't want a one-sided relationship as a whole, you don't have to be perfectly fair for everything. Things like who drives more or who pays more or who plans what to do or who initiates intimacy can be skewed to one side. A good relationship should be split 60/40ths, with both people trying to be the 60. You can have anything you want. You can't have everything you want, my father. Girls don't like assholes, they like confidence. Being an asshole just happens to be a symptom of excessive confidence. When I was dating, I had a hard time finding someone I could stand being around after 3 dates. I wondered to a friend if I was being too picky, and she said no one else is going to be picky for you. Don't talk shit about your exes, and don't date someone who does the same. Unless their ex was legitimately abusive or horrible, but even then, they should try not to bring it up constantly. People who are less experienced with dating seem to think that complaining about an ex is a great way to imply your loyalty to your current partner. Like, you don't need to worry about my ex, I hate that bitch now. People with more experience think ahead, is this how you're going to talk about me after we break up? Why do your relationships end so acrimoniously? An ex is someone who meant something to you at one point, however differently you may feel about them now. And in most cases, that should earn them at least enough respect not to badmouth them to future partners. You don't owe anyone a date/relationship. Yes, he may be a nice person, but if you're not attracted to them, you're not attracted to them. Nice isn't enough. A breakup is not a negotiation, and you can break up with someone for any reason at any time. Don't fall for the sunk cost fallacy. Exercise a lot of caution around someone who has an extensive list of people who have wronged them. It won't be long until you're added to it. It's a numbers game, and the best way to succeed is to learn to give and take rejection well. A lot of dating is just ice cream and spaghetti situations, they are both delicious, but not necessarily together. Maybe ice cream needs hot fudge and spaghetti needs meatballs. In other words, don't stick around if you get the feeling things aren't right for you. You don't need a big reason to leave. Lots of people are great, just not as a partner for you. Be direct and polite letting someone go, but that is really all you are responsible for. They may beg you for a reason, but most of the time, like I said, there really isn't one. Ice cream and spaghetti. By the same logic, learn to see people deciding not to keep seeing you as not necessarily personal. Love is teamwork. It's not you vs me, it's us vs the problem. Treat a first date like making a new friend, try and ignore anything sexual and you'll have a much more relaxed atmosphere. I break this rule with a goodnight kiss so they know I am interested. Don't fuck your roommate or her sister. Be yourself. If it doesn't work for them, it won't work for you in the long run, either. As a wise homeless man once told my husband and I, gay. That is right, bitch. Fuck the government. You better full ass one thing and never half ass one thing. You ass better be fully out of closet or none at all. Commit full time or none at all. You have the right to break up with anyone at any time, for any reason. Communication is important, but only on a foundation of compatibility. And while relationships take work, it shouldn't feel like all work. My mom, happily married for many years. Basically, you cannot talk through fundamental differences, and shouldn't compromise on your financial habits, hobbies, interests, social energy, hopes and dreams in life like too many couples do, because if you're ever thinking about dating someone, look at their parents and ask yourself if you really want them dipping their toes in your gene pool. From my mother. Don't get dating advice from Reddit. Only hookers and pirates wear red. My grandmother. Being unattractive is just dating on hard mode. Don't worry about dating until you're content alone. If you're looking to date just to be with someone, you probably shouldn't be looking to date. You should want to be with that person, not just be with a person. Goes doubly if you're recently out of a relationship. Be yourself. Unless you're a wrestling fan. Then don't be yourself till like 6 months in. EC3. If she gets her hair cut and you don't like it, wait 3 days before you say anything. You don't move houses because of a broken light, you put a little work in and fix it. Relationships should be taken seriously, and dropping one because of a small fight is a sure waste. It's okay to be selfish sometimes. Don't stick your dick in crazy. If you have an unquenchable thirst for crazy, then be as careful as possible and anticipate any possible problem that could arise from it. There's a high probability that maintaining a high school relationship after one of you moves away for college is not going to work. Shut up about yourself. Ask about them. And listen. Edit. This doesn't mean sit completely silently and be a boring dipshit all night. Geez people, it's all about balance. In practice it means, don't brag, and take an interest in them. If you've spoken beforehand, then maybe check out their fave hobby or something beforehand so you can have a bit of a conversation about it. Put in some effort. Don't sweat the small things, but also voice your concerns. When you date people, there are going to be little nuances, or things they do that might drive you crazy or annoy you, such as leaving cupboard doors open, not tightly shutting jar lids. You need to simply accept these things, rather than letting the annoyance build up over time and poisoning the relationship. However, you also need to talk to your partner and mention these. If you bring it up politely in a conversation, they will probably try to fix this, and it's important to let them know to voice their concerns too. If you let it build up and end up yelling about it, it will just make them resentful. TLDR, let things go, but don't shy away from politely bringing problems up. My sister, guys don't go for the prettiest girl in the room. They go for the prettiest available girl in the room. Basically, if you want him to want you, make it obvious to him that you're interested if he is. If he's not, then you'll know and can move on to someone else. Thank you for watching the video. Welcome to Reddit Wisdom. Here you will learn the wisdom of the crowd, the wisdom of Reddit. Please consider subscribing for more Reddit wisdom.